Hey, by the way, excuse me, this week for the chapter, I got a cold, so my voice might sound a little different than the previous, like, two chapters, so, I'm sorry about that, and if I start coughing at any point. But, that being said, let's get to it. Chapter 3 is one I'm not entirely happy with. It went through a lot of changes like the previous one, but it was always going to be set on the train. The issue with it is I couldn't really decide what I wanted the dwarf train to be like. Originally, the dwarf train was going to be more like an actual train with proper real life style passenger carts. But then, as I thought more about it, I thought the epiphany the brothers needed to create a roller coaster would be harder to do in the normal train, and it just didn't really seem like it would work there. There was also less opportunity for comedy with a regular train. Like, at least I couldn't think of anything, and I was having trouble with it. So I tried to rework it, make the train system more like a repurposed mining shaft train, which, well, I think is much more conceptually funny. The opportunity for jokes were again still a bit harder to come by. So, failing the comedy department, I resorted to doing another aspect of my writing that I've had readers tell me is really strong, which is action. Action is pretty fun to write, and it's something I'm usually very comfortable with, and with the right tweaks can make for a much more engaging scene. I tried to add here as many relevant elements of comedy as I could to keep up with the spirit of the book, and although I do think it mostly works, part of me still can't really see this chapter as anything other than a compromise. When I'm done writing, I'll sleep on it. The next time I do my review of a chapter, I try to analyze it properly and try to figure out if I'm happy or satisfied with everything. If I'm not, if I have a nagging feeling something is wrong, I'll tooth comb through it and try to figure out what's wrong. And then, depending on the amount of it, I'll either rework the whole chapter or specific elements until it fits right. This chapter, unfortunately, is one of the rare ones where I do a bunch of rewrites, I do it to the best of my ability, but then when it's done, I still just think it could be improved or done better. But no matter what I do, I just can't imagine in what way it could be better or how. So I just leave it as is and hope it's good enough for the reader. This stuff happens sometimes. You have to make things to the best of your ability, and sometimes you can tell things can be better, but you just don't have the skill set needed to make it better. It's all part of the creative process, but I would be lying if I said it wasn't a very annoying one. Besides that, I can say some of the earlier drafts were very different. Originally, this chapter was going to be one where the brothers interview a bunch of colorful characters with their own little insane gimmicks, like a bounty hunter, a crazed chosen one swordsman, a pirate, just a bunch of other comical tropes from fantasy that would join the party. But they were scrapped very early on because I thought it was muddling the trajectory of the story, and I wanted it mostly to be focused to a smaller array of protagonists, in this case being Figwit, Ono, and Inni right now. All this to say, I'm not disappointed with how this chapter turned out. I did it to the best of my ability, and as long as I can say that, I feel you shouldn't have a reason to feel sad about what you make. Like, even now, I don't really know how I could make this better. But I did my best, and overall, I think it's a fun chapter. I just wish it could be a tiny bit better somehow.